By now, nearly everyone has heard at least something about the statements made by Chick-fil-A CEO Cathy regarding gay marriage. Ordinarily, this is not something that I would necessarily choose to weigh in on. However, in this case, I am so disheartened by so much that I have heard and read that I feel the need to do so. If you stick with me to the end of this, thank you. If you do not, I only ask that you do not presume to fully understand my thoughts on this issue. Thank you. Let me start by making myself very clear on some key things. Please do not miss any of this. Number 1, I am a Bible-believing Christian. As such, I believe that homosexuality is a sin, and it's one of many sins. And as such, I also believe that we are to hate the sin, but love the sinner just as God does. Number 2, I believe in the sanctity of marriage. Now, I can almost guarantee that most hearing this misunderstand that statement, so there will be more on this later. I only ask, for now, that you do not assume that you necessarily know what I mean by this. Number 3, I believe in individual rights, as they are inalienable and given to us by our Creator. Number 4, I believe that CEOs and other heads of businesses are individuals, and as such, they have the right to express their opinions. Number 5, no person has the right to force their beliefs or opinions on others. Number 6, I despise hypocrisy and double standards, as they are antithetical to the protection of individual rights. Alright, now that I have these blanket statements and disclaimers out of the way, I want to address this specific issue. A couple of days ago, Chick-fil-A CEO Cathy spoke in a radio interview and released a statement specifically defining the company's stand on what he describes as the, quote, biblical definition of the family unit, end quote, the implication being that the company stands against gay marriage. Cathy has clarified and confirmed the statement as meaning just that. Now, I have several problems with this. First, although I support an individual's right to hold whatever beliefs and express whatever opinions they desire, no person has the right to force opinions on others. Cathy did not state his own personal beliefs on the issue. He defined the company's. This is not right. By doing so, he subjects every employee of Chick-fil-A at the corporate and individual store level to his personal opinion. No person has the right to force their beliefs or opinions on others. If Cathy wants to make his own beliefs clear, he has every right to do so. However, he does not have the right to define the beliefs of those who work for him. Another problem I have with this is the response from various groups. I will start with the group that I would consider myself being a part of, but I disagree with here, and that is Christian conservatives. Countless individuals and numerous organizations have come out in support of Chick-fil-A and Cathy, praising them for taking what many describe as a principled stand on the issue. But many of these same individuals and organizations have for years been incensed when other companies and even individuals have come out in support of the other side of the issue of gay marriage. These same Christian conservatives claimed that clothing stores, food companies, search engines, etc. should remain neutral on the same issue, and that they should not come out in either support of gay marriage or in support of traditional marriage. How can my fellow Christian conservatives have such a blatant double standard? I, as I have stated before, believe that it is wrong for CEOs to define a blanket position for the company. This violates their employees' rights to have their own opinions. Companies should remain neutral on this and other issues, and I hold to that whether said companies agree or disagree with my personal opinions on those issues. I encourage others to do the same. My complaint with what I consider to be my more liberal friends will be somewhat shorter, as I have already outlined my main complaint, and it applies to them as well, and that's the idea of the double standard. Following Cathy's statement, the Jim Henson Company announced that they would break ties with Chick-fil-A with the following statement. They said, quote, "The Jim Henson Company has celebrated and embraced diversity and inclusiveness for over 50 years, and we have notified Chick-fil-A that we do not wish to partner with them on any future endeavors. Lisa Henson, our CEO, is a strong supporter of gay marriage and has directed us to donate the payment we received from Chick-fil-A to GLAAD, which is the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation." End quote. Now, obviously, the same issue of CEOs not defining a position for the entire company applies here. Lisa Henson is guilty of the same quote-unquote crime she is accusing Dan Cathy of. But the Jim Henson Company takes hypocrisy to a new level, claiming that they have, quote, "celebrated and embraced diversity and inclusiveness for over 50 years, end quote. This is truly laughable given the context. A fitting summary of this statement would be, "We celebrate and embrace diversity and inclusiveness of all people," unless those people disagree with the Jim Henson Company. This is an obvious and blatant double standard. I do not believe it is right to stand for this hypocrisy from either side. I agree with what Aaron Quinn, catering coordinator for McAllister's Deli, stated via Twitter yesterday, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he essentially said, Chick-fil-A should stick to making chicken sandwiches because they are delicious. The Jim Henson Company should stick to making the Muppets because they are hilarious. No one is asking for anything else from either. Honestly, I don't think I could say it any better.